Just come out of the mob studio for our first Big Six watch along. And what a good game it turned out to be. I didn't expect that, I'm not going to lie. Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. You guessed it, Arsenal scored from a set piece. What an awful goal to concede from a Man United point of view. They actually started off the much the better team, I'm not going to lie. I was chatting to the boys before the game and I said, look at the size of Arsenal compared to Man United, and it's going to have an effect. The team Amorim picked was pretty much the same tactics formation from last season, apart from the personnel changes, obviously with Mbeumo and Cunha up front. And I thought Mbeumo was very lively without any end product in the first half. But Man United on the whole, much better than I thought. I actually thought it's going to be like a record amount of, record amount of possession. But they've done all right. They took the game. They took the game to Arsenal. And Arsenal didn't get any rhythm or any fluidity at any stage. In fact, forget the first half, throughout the game. Man United had the pressure, had the chances, and then obviously the first set piece and this keeper. I mean, if I was a Man United fan, thankfully I'm not, but if I was a Man United fan, I'd be going ballistic with that goalkeeper. And the weird and the funny thing is, I don't think Onana would have done much different. Arsenal get that goal, and then after that, it was all Man United. It was all Man United. They didn't have any clear-cut chances from what I remember. But Cunha second half and Mbeumo first half, definitely the danger men. As far as Arsenal are concerned, would I be worried if I was an Arsenal fan right now? Not yet. First game of the season, you're going away to Old Trafford, where you haven't got the best of records. You're up against your foes, your enemies. And you take the win and you get out and you move on, upwards and onwards. I'm struggling to think of an outfield player that played well for Arsenal. Of course, all eyes were on Victor Gyökeres up front, the new target man. And it's fair to say he didn't have a great game. He's going to be one of those players that you need to create chances for him. He's not going to be able to make chances for himself. He ran the channels and everything else, but to no avail. His hold-up play, not brilliant. Delay, I thought, was brilliant. Man handled him very, very well. And fair play to Luke Shaw. A lot of eyebrows were raised when Luke Shaw started. But he played well. And Euro was impressive as well. I thought Dalla was underwhelming. Dogu had a weird game. Dogu had a weird game. I don't know how to describe his game. Very energetic, very lively, amongst the thick of the action, but not much quality there. From my point of view anyway, watching it as a neutral as I was today. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But I thought Man United were good, were much better. There's hope for Man United. And maybe there's areas of concern for Arsenal. Of course, Zubimendi made his Premier League debut alongside Declan Rice, and I don't think either of them exerted any control like I envisaged and I imagined. I thought the midfield of Odegaard, Zubimendi and Rice would be way too much for Man United in terms of possession and control. But it wasn't. It turned out to be the opposite. I thought Man United and Casemiro, the old bloody horse, decided to put in a performance for the ages. Well, not for the ages, but, compared to some of the performances that he put in last season, I thought Casemiro's passing was on point as well. So yeah, and overall it was a tasty game, tasty encounter. A few tackles, not the old Man United Arsenal vibes, but still enough to keep you interested. But yeah, as a rival, Arsenal will be there or thereabouts, guys. They will be. They're so good defensively. They're so strong physically. They are one of the 3 or 4 prerequisites you need to be champions. Yes, they do need to improve in their creativity side of things. There's way too much relied upon Saka. And Gyökeres will need feeding. I thought Martinelli had a stinker. I don't think Rice was that good. And I don't think Saka had his best game. I thought, as I said, Dogu was brilliant on that side. But in overall, you know, I think Man United definitely didn't deserve to lose. At worst a draw, but deserved to win. And that's going to hurt Man United because of the way the goal went in as well. Awful goal to concede. Don't know what. Looking back, it does seem as though Saliba fouls, literally manhandles Mason Mount. He literally has his shirt over his head at one stage. It's quite the assault. So I don't know how these VARs, what they're looking at. But it was let go. There was no foul on the keeper. As I said, the only thing that's in my head is the foul on Mason Mount, not the keeper. The keeper has to do much better. And after that, I thought Cunha's driving runs in the second half were quite a joy to watch. The strength he showed one stage to hold off Saliba in the corner flag was immense, absolutely. And I thought Mbeumo died a bit of a death in the second half, energy-wise, but in the first half he was full of energy, full of life. Without any clear-cut opportunities, he was still threatening, if you know what I mean. But yeah, great start to the season so far in terms of action and results. A couple of shocks. Chelsea drew today. And I was hoping Man United might pull off something in terms of a Liverpool point of view, but it wasn't to be. We roll on. They play Leeds at home next season before they come to Anfield. So things are really hotting up. We have got an amazing game at Newcastle, tantalising game in store at Newcastle next week. So let's see how that goes. But yeah, Man United fans and Arsenal fans will be disappointed and relieved. I don't think either team will be overly happy. I guess Arsenal fans will be by far the happiest, of course. You know, 3 points at as I said, a ground that they don't do well. You know, but the fluidity, the creativity, you know, will have to be looked at. That was one of the criticisms of Arsenal last season. Do they need any more in the up and coming weeks of the final window, final part of the transfer window? Probably, yeah. They could do with another winger or a forward. But let's see how it goes. And Man United most certainly need a keeper. I mean, that was horrendous. I mean, absolute shocking, horrendous goalkeeping. And they probably need, in fact, they definitely need another midfielder. Relying on Casemiro in 2025 is mad. It's just mad. And Ugarte came on, and yeah, the less said, the better. Shout out all the Liverpool fans that were crying, going wild when we didn't buy Ugarte. Yeah. But anyway, people, finished Man United 0, Arsenal 1, and Arsenal will be relieved. Hope you've enjoyed my post-match reaction. I've got to go back in the studio now and do something else with the lads. But I thought I'll make a little video and see how it goes. Take care, love, peace, tranquility.